Hello guys. So today we'll be looking at advanced JavaScript and we'll be looking at error handling, cookie, local storage, debugging, and animating element in JavaScript, right? So what are error handling? Error handling is essential and is very important for managing unexpected issues or errors in our code. When our codes are being executed, at times where errors or bugs just pop up. But if we define things in place to catch these errors, we'll know where they are coming from. And then when we know where something is coming from, we'll definitely know how to amend or what to work on. Not that we'll have a whole big code like a program, we won't know where it's coming from. And you now start debugging line by line. No. When we put all those error catching phrases in place, it helps us to just catch our code and catch the errors in our code, sorry. So we use the one that we use most is the try catch statement. So the try catch block is used to handle exceptions and code that might throw an error if placed inside the try block. An error is placed inside the try block and the catch block is what catches the error. So should in case you have this code now, let's use equal 10/0. If we try this now, it will throw an error because this is division by 0 and it's impossible in math, and we have that also in coding. So it will catch this the error is thrown here. This is the program. Then it will catch the error here. So let's try this so you see this. So I'm going to run this now. Infinity. You see, it's impossible. It's anything divided by 0 is impossible. So it's giving you infinity as an answer. So the true statement is used to create custom errors, and we can also use it to handle specific conditions in our codes. So look at this function now, divide. Now we have A and B. Now if B is equal to 0, throw new error division by 0 is not allowed. So we are now telling it now that because we want to divide A by B, we're telling it that if B is equal to 0, which should tell us that division by 0 is not allowed. So we're going to try it now. See what it will throw to us now. Instead of infinity like it did here, it's going to tell us what division by 0, which is we've customized our error. Can you see that division by 0 is not allowed? So these are customs error. Now we now have the finally block. It is optional. We execute it after the try and catch block, regardless of whether an error occurred or not. And we often use it for cleanup task. So if you have done your trying block, then you catch the error with the catch block. Then finally, this will now execute. So we also have built-in error types that JavaScript provide or whatever your IDE is provided with. We have the error, which is a general purpose error. We have the type error, when a value is not of the expected type. Let's assume you're supposed to get a number, you're getting a string. You understand? You throw a type error. You have a reference error. When referencing an undefined variable, we have a syntax error. When there's a syntax issue, let's assume you didn't put your column or your comma where you're supposed to put it, so you get a syntax error. You have a range error when it is out of range. Like let's assume we have an if statement now. You're not printing inside the if statement instead of outside the if statement. Or you're printing what you're supposed to print outside, you're printing it inside. So this is to show a range error. So this is just an example. You can try this on you. So these are the best practices. Always handle your errors gracefully to avoid application crashes. Use meaningful error messages when throwing custom errors. So you should use an error message that tallies with whatever you're handling. Don't go and say, you cannot use division by error by 0 for everything. Whatever you're working on, it has to do with it. So that when you read the error message, you know, oh, this error is coming from this part. Then avoid catching errors that you cannot handle. Then log error for debugging and monitoring purpose. So print it out in the console during your development. After development, you should clean it up because you don't want your clients seeing those in your application. Then we also have cookies in JavaScript, and cookies are what small pieces of data that are stored on a user's device web browsers. Now they're used to store someone's preference, session information, and track user behavior. So like your TikTok account now, you notice that when you like a video, you see the those kind of videos keep popping up. They are using those cookies to track what you like and show you those things that you like. So cookies are very essential in in app in app or web development. So we can set a cookie by using document or cookie is equal to username. So let's assume you have a website that takes in a username now. You can set the cookie to the person's username. Then you now say, oh, Friday. So you know that this cookie expires on, let's assume you set it monthly. So it will expire at the end of the month, 31 December, date and the path. So when somebody comes now with that username, you're storing whatever he or she is watching, right? So you know that the person liked this video. So you keep showing those same kind of video for like let's say 30 days. So after it expires, it will now go again to fetch whatever you've liked again for like few days again, and also do what show you those kind of things for like another 30 days and check. This is going to be updated so that because we have we have short we as humans we change our preferences easily. So monitoring people's preference helps you to stay updated about what they like, and so people don't get bored of your applications or whatever you're doing. So you can also read a cookie by using your console.log document.cookie. Then we can also extract values from a cookie. Like now, let's say this is your cookie. You have a function called get cookie. Now you have a cookie. You have your cookies. You are now using document.split. Yeah, we did something like this with your regex, so it will now split those value with this. So you're now iterating through your cookies now with the for. So with the for loops now, you're not saying for let cookie of cookie. So it's going to be getting one attribute per line. It's going to be printing one attribute per line. Then you now have const of key. Yeah, you have key value. So that's let's say name, username, number, video, like. So something like that is going to have a key and then the value of that key. So let's say your like is 20, your name is Do, your username is Rash or whatever it is. So it's going to get the key and the value. Then you now split it. So if key equal to name, return value. So if your key matches your name, so let's assume you are using your username or your name or whatever. So if it is if your name is matching is matched in all this because your name is attached definitely to your cookie. So it's going to check if your name is attached to that attribute. If your name is attached, then it's going to return that value. If not, it's going to drop that value. So that's what it does. So then to update. So this is like I said, to update the cookie after like 31 days, then delete. So after it expires, it automatically what? Delete. So limitation of cookies. We have cookies are limited to about 4 kilobytes of data. Cookies can be intercepted if not transmitted over HTTPS. So this is your secure transfer protocol. So that means people can get access to those things that you like, information, if it is not transmitted over a secure protocol. Excessive use of cookies can slow down a loading page. So don't use it excessively. Just use it when needed. Then we also have local storage in what? In JavaScript. Now, local storage is a web storage API that allows developers to store key value pairs in a user browser. Now, the data persists even after the browser is closed, making it useful for saving user preferences, sessions, data, and other information that needs to be retrieved across sessions. So it's more like a local storage, like a place to store data locally until you can just until you want to globalize it or use it on the web or something. So persistent key features, we have persistent storage. Data persists until explicitly deleted. So unless you delete those data, they will be stored in your local storage. Synchronous API. So your operations are performed synchronously because those data are stored locally. So you get access to it fastly and synchronously. The storage limit is about 5 megabytes per origin. Then all those things. So we have basic operation. So you can set your data to say local storage or set item, your key and your value. So let's say name is Bisola, username is blah blah blah. You can retrieve your data with value, like cost value is local storage item, local storage dot get item of your key. It will output the value. Do you understand? Deleting the data, remove key item, key. Clear the data, clear. Check the length. You can use dot length to check the length of whatever data you put in your local storage. Now to iterate, that means if you have more than 3 or 4 key values, you want to print it line by line, you can use this let. You can even use the for too to iterate through it. So it will get the items line by line for you. So the use cases, we use it to save user preferences, caching data for offline use, and storing temporarily. So limitation security. Data is stored as plain text to avoid storing sensitive information, and the size limit, you don't, unlike global data like storage like Mongo, MySQL, where you have access to like storing more than as much as you want. This one is limited in size, storage, and everything. Now, if the data is too large, it may block the main thread for larger operations. That means that your await that you're waiting for, you won't get it because it's too large for them to pass. So we also have debugging in JavaScript. Now, it's the process of identifying and fixing errors or bugs in your JavaScript code. So here are some techniques and tools to use to. So we use the console.log. Like I said, in errors, you use console.log in your errors, or you can even do console.error of your, then it will give you the error message. Now see, console.log value of x is x. Now, browser developer tools, you know that your F12, this, I told you can use it to what? Debug. So in case you have, you can see now, in case there's an error or whatever, it will tell you this error. So you click here, if you click here, it will give you more information, or you can copy the information, then you go to, you can go online and check for information about that error you're having, or you can even look at your elements. You can look at your elements. So here you check what and what is happening here. You check your body, the things that is being given to you and everything, your HTML, your CSS. So you can also use this for debugging. It's most times your error will show up here, right? To show up here in your console. So you get it. You can use AI to debug. You can also debug by the time you read the message and you understand whatever it's saying here. So now breakpoints also allows us to pause the code at specific lines. So you open the source tab in DevTools, click on the number line to say, so F12. So you can also use what? See threads, watch, breakpoint. So the breakpoints here, you run the code. So here you see it's the breakpoint. So what and what is going on here? So you can use it to debug too. Then the debugger statement, you can insert the debugger keyword inside your code. So when you add this keyword inside your code, it will automatically open a debugger interface. When you face a bug, then error messages. I already explained this. Then you can use code linters, tools such as slint, to catch syntax and logical errors before running the code. This one you can get it inside your VS Code. Then defensive coding too can be practiced. Then you also have online debugging tools like JS Fido, CodePen. So if you get your error from here, you can copy it and go and paste it in JS Fido, CodePen, or JS Bin. So they'll help you to check the errors and you know what, and then give you possible solutions or fixes you can apply. So we also have animating elements. Animating elements can be done using various methods depending on your needs. So we have three common approaches. We can use the dot animate, which is what most people use. So let's assume we have a box now. Come in. Let's put a box here. I'm just going to add a div. Come in. Okay, this is not complete yet. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so now you are telling it dot animate. So you use the transform element. Now the keyframes is what define the animation steps, and the options include duration, delay, easing, and iteration count. Then it returns an animation object you can control, parse, or reverse, right? So this transform now, we are telling it to transform 0 pixel. Then for transform translate X, we're telling it 300 pixel. So let's see what happens. Okay, I think I need to set the okay. So is it okay? Let me try now. Is it the ID or the class? Which one uses the hash? But first, is even supposed to be giving me this. Okay, yeah. So now that this one has been done, um, so let's select this. I mean, is hash. Okay, because the box was not there before. I remember then. Okay, so hash, yeah. So let's go back. So this is our box. This is This is it. So I'm coming. Let me try and pixel now. So wow, can you see that, guys? Did you see? So that's it. So it's moved. So based on you have to try all this in yourself. Although if you're going into web development, React and everything, and you want to like do animations and all these things, I would advise you use utility classes and component like Tailwind or Radix UI and all those things. Those automatically handles, then you can, but you need to understand them, the basics, before you can use those things because they work on all these basics before you can understand whatever you want to do with them. So we also use set interval or request animation frame. I don't really use this actually, but that's so you get your element by ID of box, set your time interval. So box dot style dot left. So you already know your box is moving to the left. So then you add your pixel. How many pixels do you want it to move? Then you also have libraries for animation. I can advise like I said, I advise libraries because they're already set there already. So let's make a spinner. Let's make a spinner. Although I don't make it myself anymore. So okay, so we have this now, spinner. Then so let's get our style. Style is actually where work of a spinner is done, right? If you don't understand this code, you have to read through it. I'm not going to start explaining the codes to you because I assume you guys are big boys and girls and can handle this by yourself. So So we have our index.js. I'm only going to explain this. So you're getting the I element by ID spinner. It has a button of load button. I'm handling a click event. So dot remove hidden. It's so now this thing is hidden before, but immediately we click, it's going to come out. So then we're adding it after it comes on, after 3 seconds again, it disappears. So that's what this means. So let's go here and check now. So start loading. So can you see that? So after 3 seconds, it does what again? Disappears. So that's how we make a spinner. The spinner you see anytime you want to um click on the website, you see loading. So that's how they do it. But most time we use utility classes or we use components to style those things in advance because all these things saves time and energy. You understand? So sorry. I think that's all. This interactive star rating, you have to build it yourself. I have the codes, but it's after you guys submit that I'm going to give you guys this. So I think that will be all for JavaScript from my end, and that will be all. We are done with HTML, and JavaScript. So the only thing that remaining is JSON and a bit of recap on your Git. And I think that will be all for this bootcamp on HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. I hope you guys understand. And for the other two things I talked about, I was going to catch up on. I'm still going to catch. I'm going to check it out with you guys. Maybe when we have a one-to-one session next week. So, anyways, I hope you guys understand. I hope you guys have learned a lot, and I hope you guys will be able to be more confident based on so far what you've learned because you've learned a lot. You've learned intro to JavaScript, data types, operators. You've learned arrays, objects, logic statements, switch statement. You have learned loops in arrays, loops in classes, loops in object. You have learned functions, prototype, basic function, special function, scope, recursive function, nested function. You have learned methods and DOM, global methods, method deep dive, BOM, DOM. You've learned interactive content, event listener, DOM event, form submission. You've learned JavaScript deep dive. You've learned regular expressions, JavaScript hoisting, concurrency API. You've learned advanced JavaScript, error and link cookies, locust debugging, and animating. So I don't think anything should scare you anymore, and you've learned how to connect them together. So all I want to see is you guys building and challenging yourself, build elements and challenge yourself, and go out there and learn more on YouTube. There are free courses, free resources for you to learn. If you need pointers or things, reach out to me privately or reach out to me publicly. Anyone, I'm always available to help you guys out or to point you in the right direction, even if I can't mentor you one to one. So, guys, I expect you guys to challenge yourself, build something, and I want to see more building. Building. I've seen some people have been reaching out to me and they're doing really well. You guys are making me proud, but I still want to see more of you guys doing really well, please. And that will be all for now. Take care, guys. For your final project, yes, you're going to be building this a blog app with 4 menus, authors, contact us, and a blog. So I've given you I've given you baby steps on how you can build this, and definitely your submission checklist. So this will challenge you. This will help you, and you can also add this to your GitHub account and your portfolio. Congratulations, guys, on your bootcamp. Wish you guys the best of it. Bye, guys.